Hello, brothers and sisters. I am Inanna, and I've actually been a vegan since 2017. And at the time that I went vegan, I was a burger and fry kind of gal. When I told my ex-partner that I was going vegan, he laughed. He was shocked that I would even say that. He didn't know how I would function or survive as a vegan because he'd only really seen me eat French fries. That was the only plant that he had seen me eat. So, very bad diet, but what made me vegan? So I was an Aaronite Torah follower. I had just converted from mainstream Christianity, leaving Pollyanity behind and all these teachings. And I was studying Passover. So, in the context of the Aaronite Bible, Passover happened when the Israelites were in Egypt. They were enslaved, and according to them, Yahweh was sending these plagues, right? Like turning water into blood, frogs, locusts, diseases, all of these things. And right before the 10th plague, the killing of the firstborn, these Israelites were told to go out and find a lamb and bring it home. On a certain day, you would sacrifice this lamb and then put its blood on your doorpost. So I was studying this and it says to do it forever and ever. Thankfully, now we know the positive and the true story, right? That Moses went in and helped Pharaoh realize that the people were getting sick because they were eating meat. And so Moses taught him the Nazarene way. And Pharaoh said, "Hey, you guys can go. Whatever you want. You saved my people. Let me help you leave," right? There wasn't any conflicts or anything. Then Aaron did his own thing and said, "We're not having your Nazarene commandments. We're going to do our own thing." And they separated. At the time, I didn't know that positive story. And so I was talking to my partner about how we were supposed to go and get a lamb and actually partake in this sacrifice. And even as a meat eater, I was like, how are we going to do this? Like, this is crazy. So I was studying, researching what other Torah followers were going to do, and thankfully I found the Essene teachings of Christ, and they exposed Passover for the satanic ritual that it was. And actually, the quote that changed me said, "Verily I say unto you, they who partake of benefits which are gotten by wronging one of God's creatures cannot be righteous, nor can they touch holy things or teach the mysteries of the kingdom, whose hands are stained with blood, or whose mouths are defiled with flesh. God giveth the grains and the fruit of the earth for food, and for righteous man, truly there is no other lawful sustenance for the body." So I felt very, very convicted by that. And I want to be a teacher. I want to know the mysteries of these things. So I went vegan overnight. And that was a big change for me. It was just a blind, like, I'm doing this, I'm never looking back. And so, yeah, I started studying the animal agriculture industry and veganism, of course. But studying the animal agriculture industry exposed me to so many horrible things. Like, most people think that it's a mom and pop type farm where animals are loved and they're taken care of and all of these nice things. Unfortunately, 90 to 99% of the meat in the US actually comes from CAFOs, these concentrated animal farming, feeding operations where they can be up to 100,000 animals in one lot. They don't have grass, it's all mud and waste that's just built up. And yeah, besides for meat, 99% of US dairy, the milk and cheese, also comes from the CAFOs, and 98.3% of chickens raised for eggs live on factory farms. So the situation that we're in today is very different from our Nazarene brothers and sisters that actually had their animals and were loving them and taking care of them. Your free range and cage free labels also don't guarantee that the animals are, getting out into the pasture. They don't guarantee that the animals aren't forced into, artificial insemination where they make cows become mothers in order to separate the child so that we can have their milk, right? Yeah, and battery cages with the chickens. So the industry became more apparent to me, and I became a very, very militant vegan because these industries are all together. It's all the meat industry, even the dairy and the eggs. All of these animals are going to be slaughtered at whenever they can't produce anymore for their farmer, they get killed as meat. So this made me a very, very militant vegan, and I was very passionate. I felt justified because it was coming from love of animals and my desire for justice. But unfortunately, it definitely served to push people away from the message. And I'm really, really grateful for the Megillah and the teachings therein. Lord and Lady tell us how, as their apostles, that we are to act. They show us what their requirements are, and so it's really softened my edges a lot and made me realize that they're trying to bring people into the fold. And when these animals are loved and cared for, philosophical veganism just means that the animals are in an appropriate situation, right? They're being loved and cared for. They're not being used as machines or commodities like our sister here that has chickens. Those chickens are loved and they're not going to be slaughtered at the end of their day. So I think it's really important that we're conscious about where these things are coming from, especially in the Nazarene religion. And I'm very, yeah, grateful for the Megillah and where it has brought me. I live in Mount Shasta and I run the Shasta Vegan community. We started off by doing these full moon celebrations on Mount Shasta. You go up as far as you can drive and you'll find us there with a big buffet of free food and a giant fire and people, drumming and just having a great time. It's been really great to show people that they can have all of the delicious things that they like as a vegan. And now we kind of do holiday parties throughout the year. We're branching into a lot of other things, and I would love for any of you guys to come down and join us. This is why I'm vegan. I'm vegan for the animals. I'm vegan because it is the way that we can show animals. In the Megillah, it says that we were supposed to be their guide to show them a better way. People want to say, oh, well, go tell the lion that it should be vegan. Okay, well, I will, because that's our job. Like, we're supposed to show them this example that we are loving and kind. We're not at fault or at odds with them. And that is the way that we can truly create a better world. So my mission is to make Shasta vegan, to show the world that we can have that city on a hill that none shall hurt or destroy in my holy mount. And I believe that we are doing that. And I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you so much, Dave, for letting me give this talk on veganism. And I'm like so excited to say that I have a vegan pastor. I've been telling everybody I'm so excited. Woohoo! Happy birthday!